and we're very clear that Europe has to contribute and be supportive of all efforts towards getting peace here and getting a ceasefire.
Minister, when we are talking about two-state solution, how can you convince the Israelis with this solution while they said clearly no Palestinian solution?
Those remarks by Prime Minister Netanyahu are unacceptable and do not contribute in any way to the prospects of peace. And I would say to Prime Minister Netanyahu, he needs to lead, he needs to listen to the vast majority of the world who want peace and who want a two-state solution, on the basis that a two-state solution is the ultimate security guarantee to Israel and to Israeli citizens and to Palestinians in terms of a future prospect of living in harmonious coexistence. There is no other alternative on the table to a two-state solution that is sustainable and that will make for sustainable peace into the future.
Well, are we any closer now to? Are we any closer to those sanctions on extremist Israeli settlers in the West Bank?
Well, they're currently still under discussion. I understand one or two countries are still holding out against sanctions against violent West Bank settlers. Ireland is very clear that there has to be sanctions, and there is agreement in terms of sanctions against Hamas, which is correct, but equally there needs to be agreement on sanctions against the West Bank violent settlers, and we're very clear on that, and we'll be pushing very strongly today, and I'll be talking to those who may have reservations to push strongly for an EU-wide sanctions policy in respect of what's going on in the West Bank, because that too is creating huge tensions, and it represents the willful displacement of Palestinian communities within the West Bank, and by definition then undermines the prospect of a two-state solution.
And are we any closer to, a number of member states are proposing a CSDP, European Maritime Mission, in the Red Sea to protect commercial shipping. Is that something that Ireland would support?
Yes, we would support that. We would not be participating in that, but in terms of self-defence and defending European personnel and defending member states are entitled to do that, but also to protect lives and livelihoods in terms of supply chains, in terms of making sure that vital supplies can get across the world. And we all know in situations like this, when trade and supply chains are disrupted by violent attacks on ships, particularly from the Houthis in Yemen, what that does ultimately is the poorest suffer. The poorest in Africa, the poorest in the Middle East, in terms of vital food supplies, and in terms of any worsening of the economic situation globally, will also impact on the poorest in the world. And that's why the idea of monitoring and surveillance by the EU is reasonable. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks.